It's time for another episode of Film Room, and I'm Brian Johannes. On this episode, we're going to take a look at Oregon cornerback Christian Gonzalez. Here's a guy that is being viewed as one of the top cornerbacks in this 2023 NFL draft class, a potential top 10 pick. And so what we're going to do, if you're not familiar with these, is I'm going to take a look at some of the plays from his games. Here we're going to look at Oregon and BYU, and we're going to focus in on his traits, what he can do, what type of prospect he is. So if your team ends up drafting him, or you just want to learn more about players in this draft, you can get a good idea of what type of player Christian Gonzalez is. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the tape. Now, the first thing that you see with Christian Gonzalez is his speed. He's lined up here at the top of the screen playing in mirror match press man coverage. And this receiver is going to end up going deep, a little stutter step at the beginning. But Christian Gonzalez is able to stay in phase and then just turn. And as you can see here, just run deep with that receiver. He's just got that ability, the quick hips, to be able to turn, and then that speed to run with that receiver. Even, he gets a little half step behind in that transition, but then is able to just catch right back up. He's got natural speed, and even when he does get a little bit behind, he not only does he have that natural speed, he's got that acceleration that allows him to catch up and to be able to run with receivers down the field. So not only does Christian Gonzalez have the speed to run deep with receivers, which is extremely important, especially with the vertical passing game that is the NFL these days, he's also got this ability to be explosive. Here he is, once again at the top of the screen, playing a little off. And this receiver is going to run a little bit of slant route. And what Gonzalez is able to do is he sees that slant coming, and he's able to he's able to just close in, put that foot down, and explode forward. And this ball comes in, and because of that, he's able to get his hand in there and break up that pass. If we see that again in full speed, just playing off, just see it and explode forward to be able to break up that pass. And it's just that quickness and that recognition. He saw it coming, and he just had that burst to be able to come in there, and then the length to be able to put a hand in and break that pass up. And that's what you want out of your top corner, your outside corners, is not only do they have the speed to be able to run deep, but they also have the explosiveness and the quickness to be able to break forward and break up those short underneath routes. Now, I've shown you his speed and be able to quickly flip his hips and run deep. I showed you his ability to put a foot down and explode forward. What I like about this clip, once again, here at the top, is it shows his ability to be able to use those fluid hips to stick with the receivers. This receiver is going to fake like he's going to go outside. Gonzalez, kind of opens up to run with him deep, but then as he sees him breaking back to get inside leverage, he's able to just quickly just spin those hips, and he's right there with that receiver. And it's just that quickness, that smoothness of that transition just allows him to stay right there with that receiver and be able to, it does help that the safety kind of came over and almost pinched him into slowing down, but I still think Gonzalez was right there to be able to, even if that safety wasn't over there, Gonzalez has the speed, has the quick explosiveness, the acceleration to be able to run with that receiver deep. And with that smooth transition, it allows him to do so. And what I like about, and we see that he's got the speed, we see that he's got the fluidness, and Oregon utilized that. Here against Georgia, they had him lining up and covering Georgia's best weapons. In this situation, he's lined up over Brock Bowers, their tight end. And because he's 6'2" and he's got those athletic traits, he's able to be moved around and almost kind of to cover up and take care of the other team's best receiver. So he didn't line up consistently on Brock Bowers. He lined up a lot on the outside. but Oregon showed the ability, and Gonzalez himself showed the ability to, hey, we can even slide him in, and you got a good tight end that's athletic that we can cover you up with our best corner and shut that guy down. Now, one area that really stood out to me in Christian Gonzalez's game was his ability to break up and play the ball in the air. We saw that earlier in the couple clips ago on that slant route. He was able to break forward, get his hand in, use his length to break up the pass. This play, we're going to see it down the field. So once again, he's lined up here at the top of the screen. And that receiver is going to kind of run a little bit of a fade route to the end zone. And what I like about this clip is he kind of breaks like he's going to go maybe at a post type route or curl over here to the middle. But he ends up breaking outside, and Gonzalez has to adjust, and he kind of loses a step. But we see the acceleration to come in and then play the ball, force the bobble, which ended up forcing the incompletion. His ability to play this ball in the air is what caused the receiver to not maintain that control as he went out of bounds and forced the incompletion. So love right here, he's a little step behind. We see the acceleration and just that ability to go play the ball in the air and take away a touchdown and force that incompletion. We see another clip of that here. Once again, Gonzalez at the top of the screen. They're going to try a little back shoulder type route. And this is a bigger receiver, tight end for BYU. But Gonzalez is able to stick with him, get a little physical, get his hands on him, and then just be able to reach up and bat that ball away. I like it better from the end zone view. But just, once again, he's got the ability to play the ball in the air. Too many corners are really good athletes and can be in position, but they don't use their length. They don't have the length or the ability to play that ball in the air. Here, Christian Gonzalez is able to just get his hand up, as you see there, just get his hand up and just bat that ball away. And that receiver tried to use his size and his strength to his advantage, and he was no match for Christian Gonzalez. Another thing that I like about Gonzalez is he shows good instincts. We've seen it in a few clips, just his ability to read the defender. Saw that slant coming underneath. Here against Georgia, they're in the goal line, and he quickly reads this play action. I mean, that's not what I like. He goes out here, and he looks to cover up Kenny McIntosh, the running back coming underneath. But he quickly sees that, hey, my teammate's right here, and maybe he's reading the eyes of Stetson Bennett, but he is able to peel off and see Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers was coming wide open here, was probably going to be the target, and he's able to come off, spin out, take that away from this play and make the quarterback go back the other way. And it's just that instincts, that feel for the position, saying, hey, this underneath route is covered. Let me fall back, potentially get a interception. And while I think Georgia did score in this play, because I think this guy's down here wide open, he initially took that play away and forced the quarterback to have to make a play. And finally, what I want to talk about is his physicality and his ability to make tackles here against Georgia. They're going to run the ball, a little quick toss, and he's able to come up from playing back and be able to make that tackle. Gonzalez isn't the most physical guy. He's not going to be Richard Sherman or he's just big booming hitter, but he's not afraid of contact. He's not afraid to come up and make a play on the ball. He tends to maybe throw his body at the running back a little bit, as we see here. He does look to wrap up, usually at the legs, and but that's what I see with Gonzalez. Is he may not be the most physical guy, corner, but he's not afraid of contact. He's not afraid to come up and make a tackle. And if you got his athleticism, and I want a corner that can cover. That's what I'd be paying and wanting my corner to do. But I also want them to be able to come up and make plays in the run game. And I think that's exactly what you see here with Christian Gonzalez. He's not afraid to come up and make a tackle, and more than not, he's going to make that tackle. There is so much to like about Christian Gonzalez as a prospect for the 2023 NFL Draft. He's got good size at 6'2". He's an elite athlete. He's a track athlete. He's got the ability to run with the receivers deep. He's got the explosiveness to come up. He uses his length well to break up the ball. So there's a lot to like. Is he an elite? Is he the next Sauce Gardner or Derek Stingley type prospect? No, he's not. But I do think he's one of the 10 best players in this 2023 NFL Draft. I think he's a top 15 player. I'm not for sure where he's going to go. We're still a little ways out from the draft. But there's talk of him potentially going to the Detroit Lions at 6, the Philadelphia Eagles at 10. Wouldn't shock me if he went to the Bears at 9 or the Titans at 11. But I don't think he's going to fall too much further than that. Teams like the Patriots could take him. The Commanders could take him. I could see a team moving up to get him. It is a little bit of a deeper corner class, so he might slide just because of that, because he's not this elite guy. He could fall because there's a lot of guys in the teens or early part of the second round. But like I said, whoever ends up drafting him is going to get a potential number 1 corner. And if he's not a number 1, he's going to be a strong number 2. And we know in this passing league, you need corners. So I think he's a guy that can play outside. I think you could match him up. We saw him going against Brock Bowers. So I think you could kind of maybe have him go against some of your bigger receivers based off of his size and length. And then yet he can match up with most guys because he's got that speed and quickness. All right, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this episode of The Film Room. Remember, the best way to get this is to subscribe, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. While you're there, follow me on social media, draft_Brian. Doesn't matter where you have social media, I am there. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Until next time.